Hello everybody, how are you doing today? So today we will be learning about multiply monomials and polynomials notes. So one thing that you have to learn about this lesson is that this lesson is easy. So you will be only needing these two problems I'm going to solve and any extra notes I would like to add at the end if there's any time. So put this title on your journal on a clean page, put the date on it, and let's begin. So on Tuesday's worksheet, you're going to have a problem similar to this or a different one, but it's going to be either the same exact way. So, on adding and subtracting polynomials, we learned that any number in the middle or any symbol in the middle between the parentheses either meant adding or subtracting. Now, in this case, there is nothing in the middle except for parentheses. So that means this means multiply only. So, let's do this. The first equation that you see is the first one that's going to go at the top. So the first equation is 4r minus 7. Any symbol in front of a number goes with it, even if it's a plus sign. So we're going to write here 4r, and here we're going to write negative 7. Now, we're going to do the other one. Here we have 3r minus 6. Remember, any symbol in front of a number means that it's either negative or positive, and we're going to write that to the side. So we have 3r minus 6. So what I want you to write is that, let me change colors quickly. So first equation goes at the top. Sorry, I'm struggling a little bit. Goes at the top. And the second equation goes to the side. So make sure you have this written down as if it were a key to solving. Now we're going to actually solve this. So the way this is going to work is that we are going to solve from this first number to the top numbers and then the bottom number to the rest of them. So let's start. 4 times 3 is equal to 12. So we're going to write 12, include the variable r, and the number 2, which is squared. Why we have a 2? There's two variables here, and adding them equals 2r's. So that's why we have 12r squared. Now we have negative 7 times 3, which is equal to negative 21r. Remember, on here we include the variable, but we don't put a 2 because this one does not have any variable. Instead, we add the negative sign because a negative times a positive is always a negative. Now, let's work on the second one. So negative 6 times 4 is 6, 12, 18, 24. Negative 24r. As I said, only one r because this one does not have an r or a variable, so that way it is an r squared. But instead it's negative because, as I said, and I'll say it again, negative times a positive is always a negative, and you can use DESMOS to prove it. And now we have the last two numbers, negative 7 times negative 6. On this one we will be using DESMOS, so negative 7 times negative 6 is equal to positive 42 because a negative times a negative is always equal to positive. And this box here should only be the one that has a number and no variable. So I'm going to write this to the side. You can write it as well. number only, no variable. There we go. Ooh, this is awful. I need to change my writing utensils. Maybe next time. All right. So this is what you should have. And then we are going to use the third process, and we're going to add two numbers. We're going to add this number here and this one. We are going to add them. Usually I start to add this one first and then this one second, but I'm not sure if that's effective or anything. So we're going to use DESMOS. We're going to write it the way we found it. So we have negative 24, just the number, no variable, plus negative 21. Oh, sorry. And it's always important to use DESMOS because that way you will not make any mistake. You can find DESMOS by obviously going to desmos.com, or you can use the link I will provide on this assignment. So negative 24 plus negative 21 without the r, or the variable, is equal to negative 45, and this time we add the variables r. Now we do the last step, which is to write the equation, the new equation. So let's do this color here. And now we're going to write our new equation. I'm going to write it in the middle since there's almost no space. So our new equation is going to consist of this. This is going to be first, this goes second, and this goes third. So we have 12r squared minus 45 r plus 42. The reason I put a minus 45 is because there's a negative in front of this number, or a minus sign in front of this number, so it has to go in front of here as well. And this plus sign is obviously because this is a positive number, so I'm just making sure it's there. So this is your new equation from this version. So pause this video and copy this down. Let's move on. Now I'm going to solve this last equation quickly, and then at the end I'm going to give you the steps on how to multiply my monomials and polynomials. Maybe next time. So on this one we will not change colors because that will take time. So we have r by itself, and we have plus 6. Damn these. And then we have 8r, negative 5. So whenever you have an r alone, this equals 1r. So just pretend there's a 1 here. So we have 8 times 1, which equals to 8 by itself, r squared. We have 8 times 6. I'm going to use this calculator. 8 times 6, which equals to 48. Positive 48. R only. A second. It's turned off. All right. Negative 5 times 1 equals to negative 5 r. And negative 5 times 6 is equal to negative 30. All right. Now we add these two numbers. So we're going to go to DESMOS. And we're going to do negative 5 plus 48, which equals positive 43. Positive, so plus sign. Now we can write our equation, and in this one I will change the color. So our new equation is going to be 8r squared plus 43r minus 30. There we go. So this is your new equation. All right, copy it down. I'm going to pause for a second and I'll be back. All right, I am back and I'm going to show you or write to you the steps you have to do to solve monomials and polynomials. So the first step is going to be write the, you know what, I'm going to write it with text so that way there's no messing up and we won't waste time as well. So let me increase the size to 50. So the first step, so number 1 is going to be write equations in proper order. So first equation up, top, and second, let me move this, second equation side. There we go. That is number 1. Now, number 2. Let me change color. Number 2 is, damn it. Number 2 is, how's it? This has moving. Multiply. All right. Why is this doing this? Multiply. Sorry for this. 2 is multiply from top to bottom as I showed you. Number 3 is going to be add the two numbers that I showed you, and lastly, and most importantly, write the new equation. And those are the 4 simple steps. And remember this key thing: use DESMOS. When you use DESMOS, it'll help you a lot and it'll be a lifesaver for you. Well, that is it for this almost 15-minute video and 15-minute long notes. So thank you, and I'll see you next time. Peace out, y'all.